What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another cartoon conspiracy theory with your host, as always, K-Mac time. Now, last week we discussed a theory from the Emperor's New Groove about a fly that could have potentially been a human in past, but it was changed to a fly and was eaten by a spider, and it was a murder. It was all kind of cool. But this theory builds off of last week's theory, so if you guys have not seen that theory, please check the link on the description right now or on your screen right now and go check that out. Watch that one first and then come back to this one, because this one builds off that last theory. Now, this theory is kind of the exact opposite of the last theory. In the last theory, there was a human that was potentially changed into a fly. This time, the theory is that Kronk could possibly have been an animal turned into a human. Now, I know that's a little bit crazy, but bear with me here. There's a couple of pieces of evidence here to this, and it starts off with he could understand the squirrel. The squirrel could not speak English. Now, if you remember anything from the last theory, we talked about how the not being able to speak the same language as animals was a big talking point of who was a human and who was an animal. Well, since he can understand the squirrel, that could be one of the turning points here. Another point is that at one point in the movie, Yzma actually calls him, quote, a big stupid monkey. And there's a part in the movie where Kuzco actually asks Yzma how old Kronk is, and Yzma says she doesn't actually know, and which could mean that she merely found Kronk in the wild as an animal and transformed him into a human so that he could be her lackey. He's the guy that does all what she says. He's the guy that does everything she wants him to do at the drop of a hat, at the snap of her fingers. She is basically turned this animal into her slave. And at the very end of the film, Kronk is shown teaching the Mesoamerican Boy Scouts and Yzma how to speak squirrel, which is kind of weird because none of the other people seem to understand what he's trying to teach them. And the squirrel is only usually communicating to the other humans with gestures. They're getting his gestures, but they're not getting what he's saying, and Kronk has to translate it. That means he's the only human that can speak squirrel. That means, according to the logic from the last theory, that he must have been an animal at some point. Another thing worth pointing out is when Paka and Kuzco have to go into Yzma's lair to retrieve the human potion, there are actually multiple potions for all other living creature Yzma can turn someone into, but notably, only one potion remains to turn someone into a human. There's only one of those potions left, meaning that there must have been at least one of them used recently, which would make perfect sense to turn a monkey into Kronk. Another thing worth pointing out is just look at how he's built. He's this huge hulk of a person, exactly built like a silverback gorilla had been turned into a human. And that's just kind of speculation. But you guys understand what this theory is about. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. And I know one more thing I wanted to point out is I know this doesn't really add up with the spin-off sequel, which is Kronk's New Groove. And I believe there was a television show spin-off as well. And I believe in those we see a little bit more of Kronk's background and his family life from his early childhood. But for the sake of this theory, we're just going to stick to the first movie. And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll come up with another part of this theory that explains further into those spin-offs. But until next time, guys, take it easy. Remember, this came back time somewhere. Until then, peace out.